Hi, Aries. This is a love energy check in for Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. So make sure you take what resonates and leave the rest. So I started with pulling some oracle cards that speak to the current energy for Aries placements. And I feel like there's tension in the air for a lot of you, like a match waiting to be struck. Aries, something for someone, whether it's you or your person, someone's patience is being tested, their pride is being tested. I feel like it's you, and the passion too. You've either had to dim your fire or someone tried to match your flame and they ended up burning out. So let's look at the oracle spirit brings forward. The first oracle card that came out is Rigged Games. So someone always had the upper hand in this connection, or at least they played like they did. Aries, you're usually the one in control, but this connection, it had you second guessing your power. You gave someone the benefit of the doubt, maybe even bent your own rules you don't usually bend, only to find out that the game wasn't even fair to begin with. And this card confirms you were dealing with someone who was manipulative. They could have been a control freak or someone who didn't play as clean as you do. And Spirit is saying, if it fell off, that's because if the connection fell off and if it felt off to you, that's because it was. So trust your instincts, because they were trying to protect you this entire time from this person. And then you also got drinks of pain. Someone is trying to distract themselves. They're trying to numb the pain. They're staying unbothered, but it still stings. And so I feel like, Aries, someone bruised your ego and your heart. This card isn't just about heartbreak. It's about how you've been trying to cope with the disappointment from this person, whether that means you're overindulging in drinks, in distractions, you're isolating yourself, or just even going cold. Spirit is calling your heart out gently. You're allowed to feel what you feel without rushing your bounce back. And then also the last laugh came out. So this is a comeback card. Someone thought you'd fold and maybe thought your emotions made you weak. But no, 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 no. This is your reminder that you don't stay down for too long, Aries. Spirit is lifting your chin and telling you you're not healing, you're winning. You're healing and you're winning. And then you also got the pleading man, colors. I love this deck, by the way. And then you also got cold as ice. So, okay. Oh, okay. So now this person cares. Now they're emotional. But where was this energy before? Someone is definitely feeling regret, or they will be very soon. The energy here feels like a divine flip. So basically, the person who acted detached or inconsistent is now craving that stability you offered originally. They may reach out to you soon. They may even try to plead their case, which is why you got the pleading man. Spirit is saying observe their actions, not their apologies or their words, Aries. And then you also got colors. You see this guy with this colorful tie. So, you're starting to see people for who they really are, not who they pretend to be, basically, is what this card is saying. This connection taught you discernment, Aries. You once romanticized someone's potential, but this card confirms that the mask has slipped. You're no longer blinded by charm or chemistry, even though it's nice. You're seeing character now. And what you see, even though it might be disappointing, Aries, is also very, very freeing. And then you also got cold as ice. You're protecting your heart right now. And honestly, that's valid. You're tired of being the person who cares more, who gives more, who loves harder. So now you're in self-preservation mode. Maybe you've ghosted somebody, you've withdrawn emotionally, or you're just moving in silence. And Spirit is saying, don't feel guilty for protecting your energy. You're not cold, you're recovering. So let's go ahead and get to the tarot portion of this energy check-in for Aries placements. All right, Aries, let's see what tarot cards came out for you. So the first card that came out is the Lovers in the Upright. Some of you are dealing with the Gemini. You also got the Moon. So some of you could also be dealing with the water sign and Seven of Swords. So somebody is being sneaky. So This was a divine connection between you and this person, but it wasn't necessarily a lasting one. You see these two people, they're in love, they're holding each other. There's a strong soul bond here, a feeling of meant to be. But Spirit is saying this also came with tests. Not every soulmate is meant to stay in our lives, even if it feels right, even if it feels like this person just fits. This could have been a karmic connection meant to trigger your healing. And then you also got the moon. Some of you could be dealing with the Pisces, I see. But basically, you didn't have the full story, Aries. Spirit is saying you were picking up on things your mind couldn't really prove, but your intuition does not lie. So make sure you listen. Someone wasn't fully being honest here and wasn't being honest with themselves either, not just with you, but Spirit is asking you to trust your inner knowing. I also see that there was some deception in this connection. There could have been lies, cheating, or this person could have even been keeping things from you, but they weren't showing their true self. And Spirit says either you or this person wore a mask out of fear. They didn't want to be truly seen. You also got the Nine of Cups reversed, the Queen of Wands, that's your energy, and then the Death card. So like I said, some of you could have been dealing with a Pisces. I also see Scorpio energy here. So this connection with this person it wasn't emotionally fulfilling anymore for you. At one point, this was your wish fulfillment until it wasn't. Like you wanted it, but then you didn't. And the more you gave of yourself, the less you felt satisfied. And Spirit is saying it became a one-sided dynamic between you and this person where your needs, especially emotional needs, got pushed to the back burner. And you know what, you not only do you not deserve that, that's not something you want. So now I see you stepping back into your power. This is you, Aries. You're magnetic, you're radiant, you're fiery, of course, you're a fire sign. And Spirit is reminding you of who you are. This is a reminder of who you are. And after all the confusion and the emotional pain that you've gone through with this person, your confidence is returning. I'm not saying that, it left, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes people can affect us emotionally and they can affect our energy, and people feel your shift. This is your era of reclaiming your self-worth, basically. And like I said, some of you could have been dealing with the Scorpio, an ending you didn't want with this person but needed, is what this card is telling me. Something had to die in order for it to be reborn. And Spirit is saying this chapter closing, yes, it may have hurt you, but it also activated a deep transformation. You're no longer who you were at the start of this connection with this person. You also got the Knight of Cups in reverse. Some of you are definitely dealing with a water sign. The Tower, definitely a Scorpio, I see. And then Page of Swords. And like I said, Aries out there, like placements, please take what resonates and leave the rest. If it does not resonate, it does not resonate. But if it does, that's awesome. So with this Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm just picking up on empty promises and emotional immaturity. The person you were dealing with may have talked a good game. So, future plans, romance, apologies when they felt like it was needed, but their actions didn't match, and you need the actions to match. Spirit is saying they couldn't meet you where you were emotionally, and the fantasy kept breaking for you. And then you also got the Tower. So everything came crashing down between you and this person for a reason. This wasn't a punishment, even though sometimes you're like, why the hell am I going through this? Spirit stepped in to remove what was built on shaky ground. Even though it may have felt great at certain times, you need a strong foundation in any relationship or connection. And even though the fallout was messy, the truth needed to come out. And now you're free to rebuild. And with this Page of Swords, someone is definitely, like, this person is definitely still curious about you. They could be still keeping tabs on you, whether through social media or just even energetically tethered. This person may be crossing your mind more than you would want to admit, honestly. You may feel this person checking your socials or asking people about you, or just keeping up with what you're up to. They're wondering. But spirit is saying don't mistake curiosity for a genuine change. Just because this person is curious about you, watching is not healing. That's just what it is. And then you also got justice. Some of you are also dealing with the Libra. You got Four of Swords. And then you also got the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so Spirit is wanting you to release what is not serving you anymore. So I feel like karma is balancing the situation out. You might not see it yet, but fairness is coming. Spirit is saying trust that you're being vindicated in ways that you can't always witness, because sometimes, we want to sit there and watch and wait. And we're like, you know what? I'm waiting on it, waiting on it, waiting on it. When is it going to come back to you? Or the way you made me feel, when am I going to see where you regret this? And we may not always witness it, but the truth always surfaces. So keep moving with integrity, because spirit will handle the rest. You also got the Four of Swords. So you've been through emotional battle, and spirit is calling you inward. This is basically your time to retreat, let yourself grieve, breathe, and recalibrate, because your heart needs to be tended to right now, Aries. Not another test right now. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of you have been through the ringer with this person, and you just need time for yourself. And then Eight of Cups, like I said, Spirit wants you to release what's no longer serving you and release what you wanted it to be, and face what it really was, because you're a realist. You like for people to be real with you, and you're a realist. Spirit says this walk away is brave, but you know what? You're not running from something. You're choosing your peace over pain and like bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? So you also got the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Wands, and then our focus card for today is the Six of Wands, because I do see things like very much turning up for you. So with this Wheel of Fortune, I feel like things are going to shift in your favor now that you've closed, or you're closing this karmic door, because for a lot of you, I see that this is a karmic connection. I feel like a new cycle is beginning. Your luck or fate, or however you want to call it, is changing. So expect synchronicities if you believe in those, new connections, new moments with people. This is basically your green light. Spirit is giving you a green light, like things are about to shift in your favor. And then you also got the Ace of Wands. So I feel like new passion is coming for a lot of you. A spark, flirtation, it's getting warmer. It's already warm. It's getting warmer. So pull out that cute dress, freakum dress, that bodycon dress, whatever makes you feel good. I feel like a magnetic connection is on the rise for you, and it's heading your way. But Spirit says don't rush it. Don't rush it, but it's definitely coming. And then, like I said, the focus card for today is the Six of Wands, because the spotlight is on you. People are watching you rise, Aries, and Spirit says the next connection will make you feel more seen than whatever you went through with this person. It won't make you feel doubted. It won't make you doubt yourself. You're stepping into a season where love looks like mutual admiration, because that's what it's supposed to be anyway. That's what it's supposed to feel like. And it's not going to be secrecy. It's not going to be survival. Your story doesn't end in heartbreak, basically, Aries. It begins with it in this instance. So what may have felt like, I don't know, rejection or heartbreak was actually redirection. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And Spirit is saying love is still on the table, Aries, but now you get to choose it from your healed self and not from hopeful wounds. So Aries, this is a general reading. I really hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want a straight up, no fluff private reading focused entirely on your energy and your situation, please check the description box for booking information on my Etsy site. But Spirit is ready when you are. And once again, thanks for visiting my channel. Bye.